So how do you create a VSL from step 1 to step 5, all the way from start to finish? I'm going to go over freaking details that will make you money if you apply them, or at least can make you money if you apply them, and it's going to be fun. All 5 steps are coming up in this 5-step VSL series. Just make sure you watch the very first video that I did, look above or look in the description below, because it sets up what a VSL is and why you should use it. But today we're going to dive into step 1, the snap suggestion. I am John Benson, and this is Sales Copy Secrets. Welcome back. You know what to do. If I earn your like, if I earn your trust, and if you get something knowledgeable from this, you get something you can apply immediately, or you just freaking love me for some reason, that's awesome. I want you to click the like button below, click the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so you can hear from me. All right, cool. Let's dig into step 1. Step 1 is exactly what I just did there. Snap. Think of it as snap suggestion. That is the step 1 of the 5-step VSL process that I used, and again, have created billions of dollars with over the last 10 years for my customers, my clients, and of course some for myself. Not nearly enough. I would love to have like at least one of those billion, but that's okay. I'll get there one day. Okay, there are 5 steps to step 1. First, the pattern interrupt. Second, your big promise. Third, video scarcity. Fourth, something completely different. Monty Python reference. And 5th, let's make a deal transition. We're going to go into all 5 in detail inside this video. So here's how you do it. What is a snap suggestion? First of all, a snap suggestion is a pattern interrupt. And I call it a snap suggestion because what you're doing when you create a pattern interrupt is you're interrupting your prospect's mind. You're temporarily disengaging their neural signals, if you will, from the noise of the day, the noise of the internet, which is all over the freaking place, the noise of their lives, their stress, the fact that their dog got kicked by accident this morning, or their wife left them, or something horrible like that, or something positive, like maybe they just won the lotto. So the last thing they want to do is listen to you, right? But you can snap somebody out of that state of disengagement by the use of what's called a pattern interrupt. That's a neuro-linguistic programming term, or NLP, that basically is all about snapping someone into a different state of attention by the use of something that scratches the disc of their brain, so to say. If you can think back, or if you're old like me and think back to the days where we had CD drives and CD discs, kind of odd that I would bring this up here, but I saw a movie the other day with it and it just made me feel, well, old. But hey, we all got to age, right? So if you can think back to those days, or look it up on Google if you have to, there used to be these little silver looking things called CDs, and you could scratch them. And once you scratch them, that CD would never play the same again. I mean, you could scratch them just a little bit. You can buy a music CD, and next thing you know, this thing is freaking trash because it's worthless. Just one little scratch on it. Well, that's sort of what a pattern interrupt does to the brain. It's just not permanent. So don't worry about it. You're not doing any brain damage here. You're just temporarily scratching the surface, and I call it a snap. It's better than a slap, don't you think? A snap suggestion, because you are essentially doing the same thing a hypnotist does, although you're not using hypnotism, so don't freak out when they do the, okay, when I snap my fingers, you will. That is a pattern interrupt. They are using a glorified pattern interrupt. You're going to do the same thing inside your VSL. Now, I don't have time in these videos to go into all the little bitty differences, like there's literally dozens of different pattern interrupts that you can use, but you want to think in terms of something that really shocks somebody into paying attention, especially during the first 7 seconds. It can be a startling statistic, it can be a question that's intriguing, or it can be what I call the traditional pattern interrupt. Now, I made this interrupt famous. It's all over video sales letters, all over the internet, and it's basically done by taking part of your story that you're going to create later on, and it's not in step 1. Okay, you'll create your story in step 2, but you'll create a story. And inside that story, I'm going to get you to create what's called a nightmare story. The worst possible experience that you had, or if it's not you, a customer or client of yours has had pertaining to the topic that you're talking about. And in that story, there's going to be an object that sticks out. It could be something as trivial as my first story, which was a jacket, a leather jacket that I wore. And I wore that leather jacket on a very cold night when I used to be very, very obese, and I walked into a convenience store, had left my wallet at my office, and it was snowing outside. It was terrible weather. I didn't want to drive back. It was like 2 in the morning. I had to have my sugar fix, and I stole donuts. Well, they weren't donuts. They were actually called ding dongs, but I don't know if you've ever heard of those. But they were they were ding dongs, and I stole like 4 packages of them. And my jacket was so big, and I was so fat at the time that no one could tell. The guys at the counter, no one could tell that I had stuff stuffed into my jacket, right? So I turned this jacket into the pattern interrupt, and the very first VSL ever written started like this. Hi, this is John, and this is my magic jacket. This magical jacket helped me lose over 70 pounds of fat in less than 3 months. Would you like to know how it works? Then watch this video for the next 17 minutes. That's basically how it started. So when I think about what I did here, so I created a pattern interrupt of a magic jacket. Okay, or so someone does not know what I'm talking about. So they're going to be thinking, wait, is this some sort of like weighted jacket that you walk around with and it causes you to lose weight because it weighs a lot or something? Or is this some sort of a gimmick? What is he talking about? That makes them curious. It scratches the disc and they're a little bit more open to receive the second part of the term snap suggestion, a suggestion. And my suggestion, did you catch it? Did you catch it? It's a quiz. Stick around for the next few minutes. All it says is watch this video for the next 17 minutes and I'll tell you all about it. So it's a short period of time, video-wise, 17 minutes, not that long. I realize YouTube has kind of ruined that for a lot of people, but these work. My VSLs are often 60, 75 minutes long. So don't worry about length, just worry about interest. That's what you need to worry about. So that is an example of a snap suggestion. That is an example of a pattern interrupt that will get the job done for you. Now, of course, you want to be as inventive as you can. There are literally thousands of VSLs with these. Hi, this is Josh, and this is a goldfish. I mean, that's one of the most famous ones. I can go on and on here. It's not the only type of pattern interrupt you can use, but you want to focus on getting attention. The last thing you want to do is to say, hi, my name is John Benson. I am a graduate, magna cum laude of, this is going to bore the shit out of people, and people will hate you, including me. I will start hating you, and I will probably come knock on your door and ask you for your kittens or something. No, I probably won't do that, but I will think about it. I may actually go through with it. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Don't be that guy or girl. Don't do that. Talk about something interesting and immediately parlay that into, and if you listen to what I have to say, here's the big promise. I am going to show you X that will get you Y. I'm going to show you a simple way you can lose weight without ever thinking about what you eat. Now, I just made that up. I'm not saying that you can do that. So that's just a made up term. But hey, check this out. That's a great formula. How you can blank without blank. Now you can list 2 or 3 of those benefits, and that is a benefit formula I'm going to give you. Blank without blank. So that's your second part. Pattern interrupt followed by your big promise. The third part is you need to create scarcity. Okay? The video's not going to be around all the time. So watch this right now while you still can. I've used some very interesting, shall we say, video scarcity techniques. A couple that have been really super successful have been, and this was true, right now this video is under siege by Google and Facebook. They do not want you to watch this, so you need to watch this right now while you still can. Because guess what? That was the case. Now, I don't recommend you doing this unless it is actually the case. In other words, don't deceive people, but that worked like a charm. Get clever with your scarcity. Now, the fourth step is something completely different. That what they're watching in this video is something they've never seen before. And this is going to be true even if it's something they have seen before. You're just going to present it in a way that they haven't seen before. So you can ethically say this. You want to say, look, I know you've watched videos, you've seen this, you've tried this, but this is something that you've never seen before when it comes to topic. So I'm going to use weight loss a lot during this tutorial series because that's what I'm an expert in, it's what I write in. So weight loss, but this works for anything. It could be dog training, financial care. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what you're writing in. These steps will work for what you're selling. So something completely different. And the fifth step is a little tricky, but I want you to get it down. I call it the let's make a deal transition. You're going to open a loop. And an open loop means I'm going to start a story and I'm not going to finish it. I'm going to finish it later to keep people interested and keep people hanging on. So you're going to say something to the effect of, if you watch this video for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to reveal something that you've never heard about before, a technique or a tip or a strategy for blank. So you list a secondary promise. And this was the tip saved my life on a rainy, snowy night in Dallas, Texas. I opened a loop. Are you curious? So that's basically what you're asking them. Is that interesting to you? Are you curious to find out more? Then keep watching. And that's how I end it. Are you curious to find out more? Then keep watching. Now, I'm giving you lots of variations in what I'm saying here, clearly, because I'm giving you multiple as I speak off the top of my head. And this 5-step formula for your first step, which is the snap suggestion, can get you pretty much all the way there. Now, if you're interested, I have software that does the writing of all this for you, except for the blanks, of course, that we can't know because they're your life, but they've already got all these slides broken out into super great detail. You can literally click a button and get this generated for you. And that's a product we call Now VSL. If you're interested in it, do look below. I think that will really help you. Of course, I'm going to still teach you all this stuff, but this will also give you so many copy selections that you can choose from where you're not having to think about what to write next. You just choose the copy I've already written for you that we've already tested in hundreds of video sales letters that have made billions of dollars. It's definitely an investment that you should consider making. Look below, you'll find out more details there. Okay, I'm going to be back in video number 3 in this series, which is step 2. Got my fingers working today. Step 2 of the VSL process. And this is going to be all about what I call the vital connection. All about the need to create rapport. And this state of rapport that you're going to create in this next section is the catalyzing factor when it comes down to taking someone from a slightly interested state to an emotionally invested state, something that a mere sales letter cannot do nearly to the degree that a VSL can do. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in the next video. So I'm John Benson, and until then, I want you to be unignorable.